or harm to individuals or groups. Any individual or group that demonstrates behaviors that do not support the statements are subject to immediate removal from today's event. The expectations of spectators is to be positive, be about your team, be respectful of all players, fans, and opponents, and game personnel. No taunting or personal attacks towards players, coaches, or officials. No profanity, animal sounds, or other potentially insensitive noises. No politically, racially, or culturally, or sexually charged innuendos and language. Thank you. Now, starting lineups from the visiting team. Starting at attack, number 13, Nolan Hazelwood. At attack, number 19, Toby Tranby. At attack, number 36, Danny Quist. At attack, at midfield, number 1, Brody Herzog. At midfield, number 7, Trent Perk. At long stick midfield, number 29, Asher Ose. At defense, number 6, Jack Smolich. At defense, number 42, Jack Sudbeck. At defense, number 45, Lamari Brown. And in goal, number 12, Thomas Gramstad. Now stand up and get loud for your Anoka Tornadoes. Starting at midfield, number 3, Charlie Hendrickson. At defense, number 4, Cooper Baki. In goal, number 8, Nate Thompson. At midfield, number 18, Ian Riddick. At attack, number 21, Ethan Mossman. At midfield, number 27, Jaden Fox. At defense, number 28, Aaron Knapp. At defense, number 44, Max Knudsen. At attack, number 45, Ben Iverson. At defense, number 48, Owen Wall. Now, if you could please rise and remove your caps for the playing of the national anthem.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Goodrich Field for CTN's coverage of boys high school lacrosse and Northwest Suburban Conference matchup between the Coon Rapids, St. Louis, or Spring Lake Park Catbirds and the Anoka Tornadoes. Joe Young, Howie Shapiro up above the action, and Howie, the home opener for the Tornadoes, and the Catbirds hoping to play spoiler.
Yeah, Tornadoes come in at 1-1. They opened the season with a win over Providence and then lost to Champlin recently.
On Monday, the Cardinals over the Catbirds.
Catbirds, right? There's Brand Sudnam, head coach.
I will eventually figure out that they are not Cardinals.
No,
they are wearing blue and red, obviously.
They are.
It should be a tip-off. But I do love that they have embraced the Catbird moniker and even come up with a logo to represent on their jerseys. And there's a look at Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids head coach Chris Tott in his first season as the skipper. Has been part of the program a couple of seasons and now takes over as the man in charge.
Yeah, when I talked to him, I talked to him about they lost 9-3 to Andover in their opener. I said, what were your thoughts initially from that first game? He said, defensively, we played well. So we lacked offensively. We turned the ball over way too many times, and that's some of the things that they're going to work on, Joe, tonight against Anoka.
Well, and the JV contest did not go in favor of the visitors at all. The Tornadoes shutting them out. And the varsity Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids squad hoping that that was no indication that will carry over here into varsity.
Well, definitely not. I mean, this is an opportunity for both these teams to face a somewhat similar, I think, program. And the Tornadoes just 4 wins last year. 8-7. My bad.
The Catbirds struggled, only had 2 wins, 2-12 last season, and an early exit in the play-in round of the section tournament. The Tornadoes got a win in the quarterfinals and lost in the semis. But both teams hit pretty hard by graduation. The Tornadoes do return 3 guys that had double-digit points, finished 3rd, 4th, and 5th in scoring on last year's team. And the Catbirds return their leading scorer in Nolan Hazelwood, who had 25 goals, 15 assists last year. But then the next several were seniors. They bring back a couple other guys that can find the net, but
big save there.
Skip shot not getting past the keeper Tommy Scramstead. He's a nice piece to have coming back. He was the netminder last year as a sophomore and now as a junior.
Well, this is an Anoka team.
He's not afraid to run all the way down the field. You don't see that very often, but it's not against the rules. And the Catbirds get it out front, and no, it is waved off for getting inside the circle. They tried to feed Toby Tranby right on the doorstep, and he got inside the circle, so the goal waved off. But SLPCR able to get possession back near midfield, and they'll set up in the offensive end.
Well, what Coach Tott said that, this offensively they played well, and you can see here they're doing a good job early on getting possession down in the Tornado end, and that was actually a pretty good setup with the respect that he was inside the circle. Yeah,
and I think it may have taken Anoka by surprise to see the goalkeeper take it 3/4 of the way downfield.
Right.
You just don't see it often. It's not like hockey where that is against the rules. And Tranby is taken out of his shoe, and that means he's got to go to the sidelines and get a replacement.
Replacement shoe.
So he can put his shoe back on. No slip-ons here. Trenton Tyson checks in. Love to see those hockey guys.
Well, that's a natural transition from hockey to this.
Well, and he's unique, of course, too, in that he played as a sophomore for the Spring Lake Park Panthers and his junior and senior year as a Coon Rapids Cardinal. Finished his career with over 100 points. This is Tyson trying to scoop, finds himself a little bit of room. Works it back for Hazelwood. A couple of hockey teammates. Set up on the far side, staying away from Aaron Knapp, who extends on defense, but not going to get too aggressive. Tornado is able to knock it free, and Coon Rapids forward overstepping the bounce, so free ball for Anoka.
Looking to set up their offense here quickly.
Well, and they did have a decent possession early on. Scramstead a nice save. There's another one, point blank, on the opportunity for Ryther.
Well, as you know, your goaltender gets hot, it keeps you in a contest, and a couple of nice saves for Scramstead to start this contest, as you mentioned.
That's a big hit near midfield, and at one point, that's the thing I've never been able to figure out. And granted, I don't.
Oh, big hit.
I don't do a lot of lacrosse, but to really figure it out. But at one point, does it go from being legal to illegal? And it was a big initial hit from Aaron Knapp, and then continued to force Mellum off the ball, and eventually they said, "Oh, you're using too much stick," or whatever the case was. They whistle it in Coon Rapids' favor. Good pressure from the Anoka defense, not allowing Coon Rapids to have room to pass the ball around. Hazelwood secures and will find himself a little bit of space on the left side.
You know, the one thing Anoka offensively is lacking this year is they don't have that one guy, and I know they're working on that this year.
Pass out front, low shot, missed wide for Tranby, and Tornadoes hustle to that end line to get possession.
Well, again, like the thought by the Catbirds, just moving that ball inside, and he had a pretty good look at the net, but just as you've talked about, firing it wide.
Kamari Hibbler showing his speed to get to the offensive end, then slips up, trying to keep control as he's hammered by a couple of Catbirds. He's still got the ball in his cross, though, and gets it back to teammate Darian Berry.
He's going to check out.
I wonder if he's related to, who is the Hibbler that
I was just thinking
played
that
for
too.
Coon Rapids a few years back, football player and basketball, I believe.
Yep.
But it was another name that it wasn't Kamari, obviously,
no,
but it was something similar
like
that kind of almost rhymed with it. It was. I'll remember on my way home tonight is usually the way it works.
Just text me when you get home because I won't remember.
But that was a while back.
It was a while back.
I would say it was a good 7 to 10 years ago.
Micah Gork would know, I bet.
Charlie Hendrickson with it for Anoka. His pass underneath the stick of Brady Roof. Free ball, scooped up, though, by Ben Iverson, and the Tornadoes keep possession. He's poked at, gets past a couple of stick checks, works his way back around the right side, and passes behind for Darian Berry. Berry back up top for Mossman. Mossman a long shot. Scramstead got a piece of it, ends up out the end line, and Tornadoes are the closest. They keep the ball.
I think you would like that shot to go a little bit lower, but they put that high, and as talked about, Scramstead able to get a piece of it.
So SLPCR, the one really good opportunity, ended up in the back of the net, but inside the circle it was waved off. They've had a couple of other looks, not great, but a couple of other looks. Anoka's had a couple of really good looks, but Scramstead has come up with a couple of big saves. We're midway through this first quarter. There's a shot missed wide for Massman out the end line, and again, Anoka in good position, so they maintain possession.
Oh, defensive battle here, no scores up till now. We saw you talked about, we saw the JV get shut out, but 9 goals by Anoka here. So far, not a lot of offense, but some opportunities for Anoka, but some good saves by the goaltender.
Well, as you mentioned, two similar teams.
Yep.
These two teams played to an overtime game last
did.
year. Another strong shot for Mossman, but right into the cross of the keeper, Scramstead. And the Catbirds race to the other end. Jimmy Mills looking for help and finds Nolan Hazelwood. Hazelwood has some room. He'll take some time, allow some changes to be made, get some fresh bodies on the field.
Just setting up their offense.
Extending on defense is Aaron Knapp, and Knapp we saw lay that big hit earlier, but a little bit bigger target for Nolan Hazelwood. I don't know that he's going to take him off the ball quite as easy. Danny Quist sends it down low. Trent Burke behind the net. Burke working his way around Smith to try and get out front. Tried to pass across the front, and it was taken away by the keeper, Nate Thompson.
Yeah, Thompson just being aware of where that ball was coming and just snagged it.
Thompson being chased by Hazelwood will put on the speed and now get it ahead for Massman, who gets into the front part of the field, gets past Mellum, and sets up on the right side for Anoka.
Again, they're just going to look at what they can do about setting their offense, moving the ball around the perimeter, and then finding something in the middle if they can.
Kamari Hibbler. I want to say the Cardinal was Amari Hibbler, but that's probably wrong too. But it just seems right because this is Kamari.
Yeah, exactly. Could be Jabari.
I don't believe so.
I don't think it is. Oh,
The
nice
shot
goal.
and a goal. First of the contest, it's Charlie Hendrickson from a ways out. He goes low and gets Anoka on the board with 3:30 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, again, that was a really good job of moving that ball inside, getting a good look. And Hendrickson, that's his third goal of the season.
Was able to get an edge on his opposite number, Blake Mellum. Find a lane and get it past Scramstead. As the sun peeks out from beneath the clouds.
Right into the booth.
Right into the eyes of yours truly. Will make it even more difficult. I think I'll just watch on the monitor.
Might be a good idea. Probably easier.
Comes free to Darian Berry, and Anoka in possession again. Berry finding some room and settling into the offense.
Was it a Monty Hibbler? Or Armonti? Now it's driving me nuts. That was Henry.
Henry.
Maybe. Yeah.
Turn and score. A quick catch and release for Joe Pineski, and Anoka has a 2-goal lead. 2 goals just 35 seconds apart.
Well, I was going to say, that's just how quickly you can develop a lead here. And again, just a heads-up play by the Tornadoes. Get that goal. Good job working around the defense and the nice look inside. And he didn't waste any time. He just fired.
Hibbler with a nice job drawing the defense and then putting it softly to Pineski, who caught, spun, and scored. Just under 3 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. Anoka with a 2-goal lead.
That's Pineski's first goal of the year.
Tornadoes able to win the draw. Jaden Fox gets into the attacking part of the field, gets it back for Brady Roof, who sets up top. Roof up top, get it?
Very good.
Thank you.
You're covering all the bases.
Darian Berry will run right at the defense and then will back off. Long shot.
That's a fastball.
Labakian missed high, and screams out the back line, but again, the Tornadoes just being in good position, able to get possession right back, and that's the key to the game.
Oh, nice
shot
save.
In close, and Barry is shut down by Scramstead.
Yeah, I mean, he was right at the doorstep.
Charlie Hendrickson will send it back up top for Mossman. Mossman squeezes between a couple of defenders, gets down low, and now behind the net. Still pressured, gets it out for Hendrickson, and now back up top. Attacking is Labakin. He'll give it back up for Darian Berry, and now right side.
And just put that shot wide.
Oh, when you have somebody behind the net, closest to the end line, it still get the ball. Another chance and another goal for Charlie Hendrickson, his second of the game.
Well, again, I mean, you didn't see any jerseys in front of him to really give him any trouble. It was just a nice feed to him. He was there at the left wing and able to put it in. Makes it 3-0. You're going to see him come in your picture, and then he's got all the time in the world.
Mossman, who gave him the feed, and you see how much room he's got.
Yep.
But Mossman, one of their leading scorers so far this season, also their leading returning scorer. He had 24 points, 13 goals last year. Off the draw, bouncing around, still no one able to gain control. Finally, Ryther able to get it scooped up for Anoka. It gets turned back in on offense. That pass didn't click. He was looking for Ben Iverson, who was all alone in front. Scramstead, long pass ahead. And on the run is Devin Vossen. I didn't see who he ran over, but Josh Ryther is watching Vossen on defense and just ran over the other SLPCR player. Nolan Hazelwood looking for a seam to get inside. Turning and shooting on the doorstep was Brody Herzog, but Thompson able to turn that one away.
Yeah, he was able to see enough of that to get a piece of it.
Hazelwood taking some hacks from Aaron Knapp. Battling, trying to get back out front. Good body pressure from Baki, but that'll bring the flag, and we'll see our first penalty.
So where Anoka suffered this year is on transition. You know, they've had a difficult time. 10 of their 14 goals scored against them has either been on transition, Joe, or down a man. So we'll see what happens in this situation.
First penalty of the contest goes against Anoka, and Catbirds an opportunity with the advantage to try and cut into this lead, get their first of the game. They're going to take a timeout and talk things over first.
Yeah, probably a good thing here. It's just kind of good strategy in what they want to do with 7.3 seconds remaining.
Well, you want to make sure everybody's on the same page. And it's a kind of a crucial point for SLPCR.
Yeah. Absolutely, they're down 3-0. They don't want to fall. You know, they want to be able to try and cut into this lead. They're putting an even 8 seconds on the clock.
They really need to take advantage. I mean, they've had a couple of good looks, but Anoka has had the lion's share of possession and some good opportunities. Scramstead has come up with several big saves for the Catbirds, or it could be a much larger lead for the home team. And at the other end, Nate Thompson's come up with a couple of stops that he needed to make. And again, they got the goal waved off because the attacking player for the Catbirds inside the circle
No, just 3 goals the other night in the 9-3 loss to Andover. So that offensively, even though he felt that defensively they played well, just offensively they were just couldn't get into any kind of a rhythm. And it's something, obviously a new head coach, you're learning a new different system, although he was an assistant a year ago. But he brings in his own ideas coming into this season.
Well, and they struggled offensively last year as well. Again, just 2 wins, but their struggles offensively were not on the level of what the Coon Rapids girls team dealt with. But they did not score the kind of goals that they would like. We'll see if they can get the offense going in quarter number 2. After 1, it's Anoka 3, Coon Rapids 0 on CTN.
Did you know major recreational equipment like RVs, campers, converted buses, and boats are allowed on residential property in Coon Rapids? But you are limited to 2 items that must be registered and operable. And any vehicle parked at a home for more than 12 hours must not exceed a certain size. For more information on this and other city codes, log on to coonrapidsmn.gov.
Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids will start the second with the advantage, but they trail the Tornadoes by a 3-0 score. Just the second game of the year for the Catbirds. Tornadoes 1-1 in their home opener, looking to get above 500. And SLPCR trying to bounce back after a season-opening 9-3 loss to Andover on Monday. Joe Young, Howie Shapiro up above, and it was a good back and forth first. Anoka with the higher number of chances and obviously the 3 goals. But SLPCR had some good looks. Yeah, they just need to be able to convert here to try and cut into the lead and also to help them get a little confidence.
Well, they need so, and obviously we talked about that waved off goal in the first, but again, an opportunity here. They've done a nice job controlling at times in this game. They just have to be able to try and set something up to find the back of the net.
Hazelwood will play it back up top. Catbirds trying to rotate. Once the ball hit the turf, the Tornadoes collapse, but Devin Vossen able to scoop it up, get possession back for the Catbirds.
Let's see if they can set it up from in back of the net. Trying to find something out front.
Nolan Hazelwood. Give it up to Calvin Schnabel. A shot from a tough angle, but into the back of the net for Toby Tranby. And SLPCR is on the board.
Well, the Catbirds certainly needed that goal, with the momentum being on the Anoka side, up 3-0 until then. And with 11-11, just in this quarter, less than a minute in, they're able to get on the scoreboard.
Tranby getting the first of the game for SLPCR on the feed from Calvin Schnabel. And how you'll like this, Calvin Schnabel wears number 11 as on the on the lacrosse pitch. You know what number he wears for hockey?
Number 9.
You've got that right, number 9.
we know how much Joel Sipper loves the number 9.
Nolan Hazelwood, lucky number 13, trying to stay away from Aaron Knapp. Knapp has pressured him quite a bit so far, and Knapp we saw with the big hit I think that was on Blake Mellum right near midfield.
Yeah, that was, he laid him out for sure.
Doesn't have quite the same size advantage over Nolan Hazelwood, but he's not going to make life easy for the Cardinal captain, or the Catbird captain. I'll only call them Cardinals about 800 times.
Well,
maybe I should call them Panthers a half dozen times too, just to
be fair.
Just to be fair.
Yeah.
Hazelwood gets out front, a shot, and I think Thompson got a piece of it. Race to that back corner, and Toby Tranby able to win the race, so SLPCR stays in possession.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if he got a piece of it or not, but Catbirds making sure that they kept this ball and try to see if they can cut it to a 1-goal lead.
Would be big if they would be able to convert again. Schnabel trying to dump it out front, and that pass didn't click, but Hazelwood able to recollect up top. Tranby goes low.
Looks like he didn't get everything he wanted on that.
Thompson able to turn it away. It was scooped up by Wazurek. Whistles blow, and we have another timeout. It's about 2.5 minutes into quarter number 2.
Oh, just a little planning here. You know, tight game so far, and you want to make sure that they, if you're Anoka, obviously you want to make sure you can see if you can try and grow that lead. But the Catbirds got a little bit of momentum with that goal, and they have possession. They would certainly like an opportunity to cut it to a 3-2 deficit.
Well, momentum is so big in
Huge.
every sport,
Yep.
and you talk about it. No sport other than lacrosse is possession determined the way it is in
Right.
lacrosse. And with lacrosse, if you can get possession and maintain possession, set up opportunities, if your shot goes wide, goes out, and you're the closest to it, you keep the ball. And that really allows you to put a lot of pressure on your opponent. You know,
We saw the
keep
Andover
pushing.
girls do that the other night. I mean,
boy,
they did
were
a
they good.
really good job of keeping that opportunity for themselves.
Yeah, we also talked in that game about the insanity of all goaltenders in every sport, but none more so than boys lacrosse. These guys hardly wear any pads.
Oh, I know.
I'm telling you, that ball is hard, and they throw it fast.
Oh, they certainly do. They get a lot of velocity on that one. Especially they get an opportunity to wind up.
Beneski gets into the attacking third, sends it back for Ethan Mossman. Mossman trying to find a way in. Catbirds deny entry. There's a shot. It's wide, but out the end line. And again, 2 bodies for the Tornadoes behind the net.
Making sure they keep possession.
And this is where that defensive pressure on the ball becomes why it's so important, because if you don't pressure, you don't force mistakes, your opponent can just keep shooting and winning those races.
Yep, like
there's
another one.
And it all comes down to the strategy, right? The placement, where you have your guys positioned, betters your chances to keep possession. Hibbler across for Mossman. Mossman slips through and he scores low and reestablishes the Tornadoes' 3-goal lead.
Well, and again, just a good job of setting up that opportunities. Keeping possession was a key. Obviously, you keep possession, you get a number of opportunities. The more opportunities you get, the better chance you have of scoring a goal, and the Tornadoes do so and push that lead to 4-1.
Just a nice move to slip around the defender, Blake Mellum. And as soon as he had that opening, the shooter definitely has a huge advantage over the goaltender in lacrosse, much more so than in hockey or even in soccer. You know, in hockey, to be considered a good goaltender, you have to have about 90% saves or better. if you're saving 60% or better in lacrosse, you're in that elite category. And the same could be said for soccer, I guess. It's about, if you're better than 50%, I mean,
right.
they're guarding a goal that's the size of a 3-car garage door. But another big save there for Scramstead, and he quickly gets it ahead. And Catbirds get back on offense. Jimmy Mills avoiding some stick work and getting set up. Nolan Hazelwood on the left side.
The Catbirds just trying to find that perfect situation where they can work into the middle. Credit to it.
Trent Burke trying to work around the corner on Cooper Bakke. He'll send it back up top to Schnabel instead.
I was going to say credit to Anoka for getting that lead back to 3.
Well, and they have defended well. I mean,
they have.
In the time here, Cardinals, or the Catbirds, Panthers, all of the above, have definitely had more possession time here in the second quarter than have the Tornadoes, but they haven't been able to get any entry into that critical scoring area. The Tornadoes defense just doing a nice job of hassling them and keeping them to the perimeter.
And then just forcing a turnover.
Kyle Labakin racing down the left wing for Anoka, runs into a couple of Catbirds and forced out of bounds.
Right in front of the Anoka bench. The players are calling for a flag. They're calling, but they're not going to get it.
I said, nope, that's a legal hit for Lamari Brown. I like the physicality.
Yep.
Burke took a hard slash, coughed up the ball, and again, you can just hammer away at guys at times, and at other times, it's illegal. Hazelwood gets up a little unhappy with Max Knutson as a word. Referees will separate them. I mean, it would shock me if tempers didn't fly in this sport.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
we've seen it time and time again.
What they're allowed to do and when they cross the line it's so hard to figure out exactly just how far you can go. Shot from a ways out, and that was lifted way high by Toby Tranby, and was knocked to the turf by Max Knutson right after he let go, but Catbirds are back there to maintain possession. Hazelwood on the right side of the offense now, midway through quarter number 2. Tranby trying to find a way out front. He sweeps it behind himself, gets his second of the contest, and SLP CR back within 2.
Yeah, and again, just a really nice job to kind of sneak around, get that goal inside low. Cuts that lead in half. We'll see it again, just a really good job of just working around the goal mouth and just bouncing that in.
Tranby with both goals so far for SLPCR. Good recovery for Joe Pineski, and then absorbed a hit, maintains possession. And Kamari Hibbler. Trying to set his offense and then lost the handle.
The Catbirds not able to control that.
Jepson didn't even know that that Hibbler had coughed it up.
Nope.
First, he was worried about making sure the body was in check. Anoka able to regain possession. Amari Hibbler with a little bit of room. Looking for a seam, pass inside. The shot misses wide for Pineski.
Yeah, I'm sure Pineski would love to have that one back because he turned around. He was pretty much alone in front of the net, but he just fired it wide.
Timeout, SLPCR.
There you see the time remaining. 4:51 on the scoreboard. The Catbird's gonna talk about things. Trailing just by 2. The Tornadoes involved in a relatively low-scoring game against Champlain Park. It was a 6-4 win for the Rebels.
It was after Anoka put up 11 in their opener. And SLPCR has kept them relatively in check, and I think they've played much better here in the second quarter as far as getting some better possession time and spending time forcing the Tornadoes to defend. And they've played a little better on the defensive end as well, although that has been pretty consistently solid. Scramstead has had a great start so far for SLPCR, but he has been tested far less here in quarter number 2 than he was in quarter number 1. And again, the big key is, force your opponent to make some mistakes, cough up the ball, and then get to the other end.
Well, that's kind of been how Anoka's been struggling in that area a little bit this year, and that's what the Catbirds would like to take advantage of if they could.
Mossman will send it down low for Ben Iverson. Iverson, another one of those guys that scored pretty well last year. He was 4th on the team in scoring with 11 goals, 11 assists. And so far, coming into tonight's game, he was their leading goal scorer with 5 goals on the season. Work it back up top, Charlie Hendrickson. Cross, Mossman took his eye off it. Couldn't complete the pass. It's knocked free by Smolich, but Mossman able to recover. Near side, Josh Reither. Back up top for Pineski. Pineski will gain some speed, try to attack. A shot, a big save by Scramstead.
Yeah, he had to go low for that, but he got a piece of it. And you can see how far it went, how fast that thing came at him.
Hibbler able to recover for the Tornadoes. Poked at there by Asher Osi. Low angle shot, but it's successful for Ben Iverson. He's got his first of the game. And Anoka in front by 3 once more.
Yeah, again, good job setting up the offense. And Iverson right there in front gets his 6th goal of the season. He's able to get it behind. Just a nice look inside, and he didn't waste any time to fire that into the net.
A 5-2 lead for the Tornadoes. 3:47 to play in the first half. Good battle in the circle. Support comes from both sides, and it's scooped up by Cooper Bakke. Gets Anoka back on offense. Jaden Fox, face-off specialist for the most part. He's done the face-off get-off several times here. And most of the time has been successful on the first half. It was a good hit out front.
Yeah.
Forces the shot high, but again, Anoka in position at the back line. Kyle Labakin is there to make sure his team keeps possession. Labakin up top. Work it to Mossman. Mossman spins back, knocked free. Battle for the loose ball on the ground. Swept and scooped by Jack Smolich.
Smolich with a really nice play there to get possession.
That pass skipped out of the cross. Nolan Hazelwood and right to the keeper, Nate Thompson. He wastes no time sending it back upfield. Brady Roof on top of his game. It's just so easy to be punting.
No, it totally is.
There's a chance for Roof in close, but a nice stop by Scramstead. And the long pass ahead will spring Blake Mellum. Shot inside and a big save for Thompson to deny Trent Burke from a great spot.
Yeah, Thompson with straight on save. I mean, that was pretty for sure.
Schnabel sweeps it to Hazelwood. He's able to scoop it up and find himself a little bit of space. Hazelwood way back up top. It's such an interesting aspect of the game that, you know, certain players, you can only have so many players on each side of the field. So you have half a dozen guys just standing at midfield, leaning on their crosses. I don't know if they chat back and forth with the guys from the other team, because they're all kind of, you got to stay close, obviously, to mark and make sure that, you know, in the event of a turnover, you have your mark close. But I just wonder about, you know, what kind of, if there's conversations, and if so, what kind of conversations do they have?
Could be a number of topics. Hopefully it's game related, but it could possibly not be.
We got a broken cross in the middle of the field down near the SLP CR net. Hibbler able to withstand a hit, get the pass off, and they move it ahead for Kyle Labakin. Labakin says pass to body check, gets into the attacking zone. Takes a whack from Brody Herzog, and that's going to be
timeout for Anoka.
I thought they were going to call first penalty of the game against the visitors, but no, another timeout.
50 seconds remain in this half. Nice 3-goal lead for the Tornadoes. Cappers would love to see if they can get a goal here before the end of this one, but got to get possession, got to get down to the other end.
Well, and this could be a big possession for Anoka.
Oh, yeah.
An opportunity late in the half to push their lead to 4. They've been up by 3 a couple of times, at 3-0, at 4-1, and now at 5-2. But especially when you're facing a team that has struggled to score and has not had a lot of success that has given them confidence, the more you can score, the more it may affect your opponent mentally. And that makes it that much more to come back in the second half.
I mean, you know, if you're the Cappers, you just want to try and keep it as close as you can at this point, and then try and make a move. I mean, again, you to your point, it would be huge for Anoka to get a goal here in the, you know, within the last 50 seconds of this first half to extend that lead.
Coach Taut teaching on the sideline, speaking with junior Asher Ossie. Ethan Mossman will start with it on the near side for Anoka. As we talked about, less than a minute to go in the first half. Sends it down low for Charlie Hendrickson. A couple of goals so far for him. Pineski circles to the top, gives it back to Mossman. Mossman go behind, and up top, Hibbler into the middle, and a good late break on the ball defensively by Lamari Brown, and troubled the shot in close from Pineski, forced it to go wide.
Got a piece of
Mossman jumps and shoots, that's wide, and it'll go out the end line with 17 left on the clock. Hibbler pressured along the far sidelines. Spins, finds a little bit of room, runs into more traffic, and gives it up top. Spinning is Hendrickson. Hendrickson will shoot, bounces it wide, and that will take us to the end of the first half. The Tornadoes have had the lead the whole time, but they're not able to pull away. They are up 5-2 over the Catbirds as we get to the half on CTN.
There was once a time when local sports coverage wasn't what it is now. A dark age filled with handycams and Polaroids and angry crowds. Then two noble souls stood and proclaimed aloud that they'd give the people high-quality sports no matter how. So Sports Nights they became, delivering stats and highlights was their vow. And Sports Nights they remain. Watch them weekly on CTN Now.
It's a part of the Anoka Ghost. Anywhere else, it would be very, very bizarre. But the sun's setting across the field here at Goodrich. And we got a good one going. Anoka has been in control, but they have not been able to pull away. The Catbirds keeping it close. It's a 5-2 contest as we get ready to start the second half. Anoka had all 3 goals of the first half, or first quarter.
Yep.
Jumped out to that 3-0 lead. And really, they controlled the possession time considerably, but the field apparently slanted to our left as SLPCR was able to control a bit more in the second quarter. But every time they scored, the Anoka Tornadoes had an answer. Both goals for CPCR in the first half, scored by sophomore Toby Tranby. But again, Anoka has the last goal, and they reestablish their 3-goal lead before we start half number 2.
Well, then they had possession with 50 seconds left in that second quarter, but good defense and prevented them from increasing their lead.
Jaden Fox, another successful face-off win, and gets it into the offensive end, then hands it off and heads back to the bench. And he'll wait for the next face-off.
Face-off specialist.
Pineski shoots, that's blocked. Asher Osi in good position to block it up for SLP CR. I get so used to the other co-op that we
CPCR
see a lot of. And it could very well be that in not too distant future that these two high schools have a co-op. I'm hoping for both programs' sakes that does not become a necessity.
Correct. Because we want to see the numbers. We want to see the numbers strong.
But both of these programs really struggling. Well, I suppose really all three when you put Spring Lake Park in the mix.
Right.
Those three boys hockey programs all struggling for numbers.
Right.
Especially when you put it in comparison to the other teams in the Northwest Suburban. Good pressure in deep, but SLPCR unable to get his shot off, and finally it's controlled by the keeper, Nate Thompson.
Yeah, Thompson did a good job of just making sure he got that ball in his cross. A little bit of commotion.
Wall gets it ahead for Kyle Lebakin, and Lebakin trying to get around the corner on Brown. Lamari Brown doing a nice job keeping him wide, keeping the pressure on, poking at him with that long stick. You can poke at him, you can slash at him, just don't cross-check.
Exactly. Or hack him.
Well, you can't.
Depends
how you do that.
It depends on the level of hacking.
Or perhaps where on the body that hack
correct.
occurs.
That is correct.
And again, I go back to, I'm amazed that there isn't more dust-ups and scraps with how physical and they're allowed to be. Long shot by Knapp, handled by Scramstead, but can't control the rebound. Hendrickson back in control, weaves around, then fires wide.
Oh, and he made a nice move to the middle, and he did get a nice look at the goal, but not able to fire it on net.
Iverson trying to work his way back out front. A lot of bodies there. Finally forced it free. Brown couldn't scoop. It gets loose to the keeper, and Scramstead gains control.
Hold, 30 seconds.
Jack Smolich going to be called for a hold.
So they've got a 30-second penalty.
First penalty of the evening against the visitors. Ethan Mossman will start with possession. Tornadoes working it back up top. And now back down low. Brown nearly had a piece of that pass, but Tornadoes able to keep it moving around the perimeter. Shot misses wide for Mossman. It's the end of the penalty. Anoka still in control. Tinnis out front, is shot saved by Scramstead.
Again, just nice move to the middle, but Scramstead just did a really good job. He got a piece of his body on it.
Yeah, he's been solid. This could easily be a much larger lead for Anoka. But Scramstead has come up with several big saves for SLPCR. Hendrickson from a ways out, and there's another one for Tommy Scramstead. Scramstead will come out almost to midfield, and his pass doesn't quite click with Burke. Tornadoes not able to scoop, but able to push it back near midfield. Finally controlled by Hendrickson. Hendrickson escapes, finds a little bit of room to run. Staying away from Smolich. We'll hand it back for Joe Paneski. And now Kamari Hibbler. Good defensive play
really
there
nice
by
play.
Jack Smolich to reach in, disrupt the pass. And he's able to scoop and run to the other end. Leaves it back for Trent Burke. Burke nearly had his pocket pick. Good defensive play by Cooper Bakke going back the other way. And Burke knocked to the turf, and that'll draw the whistle. Trenton Tyson finding a way around, passes down low. No room there for Herzog. Tyson can't control in front of Cooper Bakke, but lost out of bounds. It'll be catbird ball.
6:28 remaining here in the third quarter. The score is the same as it was at halftime, 5-2 in favor of Anoka. Again, not a lot of offensive output here tonight from either team, really 5 goals, but Cardinals just 3 the other night. Certainly like to surpass that here this evening.
Schnabel back to the near side. Back up top for Calvin Schnabel. Thought about the shot. Ball comes loose. He's able to recover. Hazelwood looking for an entry. Bounces it on goal. Thompson makes the save. Hibbler trying to scoop. A lot of blue jerseys around him. Hazelwood gains position, and now scooped up by Tranby. Burke behind the net, leaves it back for Hazelwood. Pass bounced out of the cross of Dylan Vossen, and that allows Cooper Bakke to get it back the other way. And now Kamari Hibbler.
Well, Kepler did a nice job of controlling possession again, but just good defensive play by Anoka takes the ball away.
Josh Reither trying to work his way past Mellum. Now Roof attacking from the top, passes into Mossman. He shoots low, another save by Scramstead. And it's recovered by Smolich.
Yeah, Scramstead's really had a nice evening. He's made a couple of really nice saves. He's just going to take it end to end.
Well, we saw in the first quarter, he ran about 3/4 of the way downfield. Hazelwood going across. That pass was deflected, and Hibbler able to gain control for Anoka. Spins free. Stutter steps, trying to get away from the pursuing defense. And we get a timeout from the Tornadoes.
Well, Hibbler was looking to try and make some headway there, and then the coaching staff decides to take a timeout with 4:17 in the quarter.
No score in this third quarter. Anoka's had a couple of good looks, but Scramstead has come up with a couple of big saves. Coon Rapids Spring Lake Park really has not sniffed the net too much here in the third quarter.
Well, you know, and the fact that it's a low-scoring game, it's a 3-goal deficit. gives the Catbirds obviously some opportunities here to try and get back into it. But again, they've got to generate some offensive looks, and something they haven't done a lot of, as you mentioned, and just the 2 goals. And again, that's in the first 2 games, that's kind of been their Achilles heel, is it's just they haven't been able to get their offense going.
Well, and certainly no need to panic quite yet, but need to start showing a little more urgency at the same time. Do not want to wait too late before trying to mount your comeback. But step 1 is to wrest the possession from your opponent.
Yes.
And the Tornadoes have, they did it really well in the first quarter, and they've kind of gotten back to that here in the third quarter, where they have controlled it, had a lot of possession, and really doing a nice job when Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids has the ball in the offensive attacking end. They pressure really well and have not allowed very many good looks, and have forced several turnovers. Mossman to Hendrickson. Hendrickson will bring it back up top. Darian Berry. Not to be confused with former Washington, D.C. Mayor Marion Berry.
Or his long-lost relative, Chuck Berry.
Now, see, that was a far greater stretch. I mean, Darian to Marion.
But he's in the Berry family.
So is Akai, strawberry.
Yeah.
Blueberry.
Boysenberry.
Blackberry. Blueberry. Strawberry. Good recovery, and there's going to be the whistle blown against, was it Knapp that knocked him down? I think it might have actually been Nate Thompson, the goaltender, who knocked Hazelwood down with a little bit of a cross check.
He's taken a couple hits here tonight, has Nolan Hazelwood.
Schnabel to Tyson up top. Pass couldn't be controlled, but recollected on the back end by Herzog. Good recovery by Hazelwood as Ian Whittick had gotten in the middle and disrupted that pass. Hazelwood trying to get through a couple of defenders is upended. Ball comes free. Schnabel pressuring, and now unable to collect was Brennan Smith for Anoka. Ends up out of bounds. It'll be Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids ball. Cardinal offense.
Yeah.
I hear it being called from Chris Tott and his coaching staff, so I wonder if they've got different designations: Cardinal,
Panther,
yeah, and Capper. Can't tell you how excited I am that has stuck.
I know, it's great.
Scoop back up by Trent Burke. Finds a little bit of room. Of course, I also heard him calling for chaos earlier, and that's my favorite kind of offense. Just get crazy.
Yeah. Well, you're a crazy kind of guy. You're a wild and crazy guy.
Owen Wall able to scoop it for Anoka. Get back into the Catbird end. Gets past the check of Tyson. Trying to get to Mossman down low. Mossman pressured there by Brown. Able to get possession, get out front, jump and score with 1:32 to go in the third quarter. That's the first tally of this third quarter.
Well, yeah, and that's a big goal because now it extends the lead to 4, puts a little more pressure on the Catbirds than, especially with an offense that's tough generating any kind of scoring chances.
Well, and as I had mentioned a few minutes ago at that timeout, don't need to be panicking at this point, but need urgency.
No,
and that
agree.
Becomes even more important now with just 92 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, you definitely want to try and come away with a goal here before the end of the quarter, if you can, if you're the Catbirds. Easier said than done.
Again, a good face-off win for Jaden Fox, and he heads to the sideline as Cooper Baki sets up on offense and hands it off for Joe Paneski. And now Kamari Hibbler will wait for guys to get into position. Under a minute to go in quarter number 3. Hibbler bumped, loses control, able to recollect. Good defense there by Jimmy Mills. Near side for Charlie Hendrickson. Hendrickson had 2 goals for Anoka earlier in the game. Gets it back to Hibbler. Hibbler trying to get around the corner and back out front. His pass knocked away, but a little difficulty scooping it up. Finally controlled by Smolich. Scramstead will fire it upfield for Jimmy Mills. And now Trent Burke back to his left, fires wide. A couple of bodies end up on the floor.
Oh, he's hit hard.
In some discomfort is Trent Burke. I was watching the shot, so I'm not sure.
I didn't see what happened either.
Exactly how the collision occurred, but
we'll see it. There he is there.
Oh, he just got
sandwiched.
sandwiched between a couple of tornadoes as he let it go. I could see where you might feel that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully it's nothing more than a little wind knocked out of him.
That's what it kind of looked like at the time. He's looking to try to catch his breath there. But hopefully, yeah, you're right. Hopefully he's okay.
The referee's discussing exactly how it happened, and it happens. I think that's what that referee just said. Yeah, they came together.
Yep.
It happens. It's a contact sport. And hopefully, again, he's going to be okay. Coach Tot, a little bit of concern for.
Again, we'll see it as, that's a blow for sure.
Could see where that might knock the wind out of someone. I mean, Josh Reither delivers the hit, and I don't know that. I don't think that either he or Burke had any idea that Max Knutson was crashing from the other side. And Burke,
he's in some pain.
Needing assistance to get back to the sideline is never a good sign.
No, we certainly hope he's okay.
Just under 5 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Anoka with a 6-2 lead, and one of the Catbirds senior attackers headed for the sideline in a fair amount of discomfort.
Back to play here, but as he was escorted off, he'll be, I'm sure, be checked out. Make sure. Seems to be, he's walking under his own power, but now he's just kind of dropped to the turf across the way.
Again, in a fair amount of discomfort, and understandably so. But again, hoping it's nothing too seriously. I could see there being injuries from that kind of collision. Let's see where they start SLPCR. They're Nolan Hazelwood trying to direct traffic because they know they've got a short amount of time to try and make something happen
They do.
after the whistle here. Hazelwood. Pass kind of handcuffed Tranby. And not the kind of good look they were hoping for in the final seconds. And we will go to the fourth quarter with Anoka leading by a 6-2 score. You're watching Boys High School Lacrosse on CTN.
Want to know the who, what, when, and where of Coon Rapids? Then follow CTN on social media. It's that simple. Whether it's Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, keep up with local news, sports, and events. And the people who make our community such a great place to live. So give us a follow, like, share, or subscribe, and always be the first to know what's up in Coon Rapids. That's CTN, helping you stay connected.
Home of the Tornadoes, Goodrich Field, the Pumpkin Bowl, one of the greatest facilities in the North Metro.
We've been here many times, had many memorable moments in this stadium.
I still miss the former graffiti wall at the, I guess that's the north end of the field. It's quite some time ago that they redid it, and it's now all clean-looking brick, and I'm sure that if you really investigated the years and years of graffiti that used to adorn that wall at the end of the field, there were some things that were questionable, if not downright inappropriate.
Yeah, however,
so
you can get rid of those things, but that's a lot of there was a lot of history.
There was, and it still remains. I mean, it's just just the way that it's kind of set down from everything around it, and just the stadium feel. To be fair, I really like Spring Lake Park's stadium too.
I do as well. It's that
the way
bowl
that
shape,
it's,
the
the
bowl
way
stadium.
that it's laid in, as the school all the way around it. Just great atmospheres.
Yep.
I'm also quite partial to Cardinal Stadium.
I am as well. St. Thomas Academy had a very nice field.
Well, we just really like their prospects.
Yeah, it was great. It was air conditioned. It was like heaven.
Floor to ceiling windows.
Yep.
Battle off the draw, finally scooped by Brody Herzog, in a lot of traffic, but able to get it over for Jimmy Mills. And Mills will race into the offensive end with it.
A turnover again.
Cooper Bakke. Long run, knocked free by Scramstead, by Hazelwood, but goes right to Charlie Hendrickson. And still very early in the season, first week of competition for both of these squads, and you have to start somewhere.
You do. But
after giving up 9 goals in the opener to Andover, if they can get out of here with a closer contest here tonight, I think the Catbirds consider that a win. They'd like to get more offense, though.
Well, that's the thing. I think Coach Schott would feel a little bit easier, even if it was a loss, if he was going to get some more offensive production from his guys.
Yeah, real hard to win in lacrosse if you're only scoring 2 or 3 a night.
Yeah, you're not going to win if you're scoring 2 or 3 a night. There's just too many good teams that will score a lot of goals against you in that case. But yeah, you have to be able, in order to compete, you have to be able to score.
Well, and Scramstead again has had an outstanding contest and really kept his Catbird squad in this one.
For sure.
And at the other end, Thompson's come up with a couple of big saves that have help the Tornadoes maintain the lead. Mossman tracks it down near the end line. Will come back and attack against Smolich. They work it back up top for Kyle Labakin. Labakin hacked at by Hazelwood. Will retreat to the left side and now get it back up top for Pineski. Joe Pineski looking for a lane. Won't find one. Hendrickson now directing traffic. Darian Berry can't find a way in.
Trying to use those shifty moves to find a little space for himself. Good defense by the Catbirds.
Bounce shot stopped up by Scramstead.
And another opportunity thwarted by Mr. Scramstead. Just making sure he stays in front of that ball.
Ben Iverson. And he's been pretty quiet tonight. He had 3 goals in the opener, a couple more on Monday night. He's got 1 here tonight. Iverson has some size and trying to just force his way right down the middle, but he was held up and stopped by Lamari Brown. Herzog will leave it back for Scramstead. Scramstead sees the lane and he takes it. Little pump fake and keeps going. Just go all the way down, shoot.
Well, he
I
might
want
as
a
well at
goalie
this point.
goal. Nice passing in close, but Thompson, a point blank save.
Scramstead has a long way to go to get back to the net. But I liked it.
Yeah, that was a great opportunity for Devin Vossen on the doorstep, and Thompson able to shut it down. Tranby comes around, tried to go up high off the... He's able to get one of his goals coming from behind the net on that side. He went low, this time went high. And Hazelwood able to win the race and keep possession. Opportunity for Vossen, fired high.
Yeah, did a good job of getting the ball to him out in front of the net, but just way too much on it.
Well, and now you really need to see the urgency. Tranby tried to wrap around again, and he took a huge hit, and Tranby is slow to get up. Hazelwood, a retaliatory hit, and that drew the ire of the Anoka player, and he saw that Hazelwood spoke with the official, said, hey, you want to talk to him? That was not a...
It wasn't very nice.
It was not a legal hit, in Hazelwood's opinion. Tranby, the goal scorer for the Catbirds, has both Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids
Take another look at it.
Well, I can tell you
underneath the helmet.
I can tell you this. That's Aaron Knapp, who he had the big hit earlier in the game. I think that was on Blake Mellum near midfield. I will say this. He'd be called all day long on the football field for leading with his helmet.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know, again, how...
Here it is again.
But there you see it. I mean, it's leading with the helmet is, I think, where the issue may come.
And there you see Hazelwood coming with
and a flag did come in.
Yeah.
And Knapp wanted a flag for the retaliatory strike from Hazelwood. But yeah, it was Knapp's a big kid.
He is.
And he plays physical, which
is good.
You love as a coach.
Absolutely.
Can't lower and lead with the crown of your helmet. I assume I should get a rule book and figure out how this game is actually officiated. But every other sport with contact, typically lowering and leading with the crown of your helmet is going to get you penalized.
He's up to
And then
his feet.
He finished it hard with a bit of a cross check. Ooh, like the little kick flip for Lamari Brown to get back to his feet. Why slowly stand up when you can just hop up like that? Show your athleticism.
You could probably do that, I'm sure.
Not 30 years ago, maybe.
Not purposely.
Timeout, SLP, CR.
As you see Tranby gingerly heading for the sidelines.
Yeah, it's been a tough night for injuries for the Catbirds. That's the second Catbird that had to be attended to, and
in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, walked off the field slowly.
Again, Tranby has both SLP CR goals tonight. The other was Trent Burke. We have not seen return.
Nope.
Since he took that tough double hit in the final seconds of quarter number 3.
Looks like we're gonna get things going again here.
Well, the officials are huddled up.
They're talking about things.
The flag came out immediately. I don't know exactly. I never saw a penalty actually called officially to the booth. I may have missed it.
I don't see if I saw anything either.
It does look like Knapp's over on a knee in the penalty area. But they have several different levels of penalty. It could be 30 seconds, it could be a minute, it could be 2 minutes.
Well, we're not going to get the official word, but nonetheless.
Well, and now, as we were just talking about before that, you know, the urgency has to happen now.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Catbirds really need to start funneling things faster and faster to the net and putting more pressure on Thompson.
Yeah, about 7.5 minutes, a little less than 7.5 minutes left. They need to get something done right away.
Long shot from Schnabel, hit his own teammate. Catbirds able to recover. Boston plays it down low. Oh, and there's Burke coming from behind the net with a shot, and it's good to see him back on the field. Kamari Hibbler trying to dance his way out of danger. Finally just fires it upfield. Tyson got a piece of it before it went out of bounds, so Anoka will get the ball back.
Yeah,
he just shields the Anoka player from getting to it. That's an SLPCR ball.
Yeah, because you could hear one of the coaches say he didn't touch it.
Coach Todd is saying the same. He swung at it, but he never touched it. If he touched it, it wouldn't have gone out of bounds.
Exactly.
The argument that they're trying to make. Certainly got to plead your case at this point, trailing by 4, 7 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Paneski had it knocked free out of bounds. SLPCR, big turnover. Nolan Hazelwood. Sends it down low for Burke. Burke will look behind the net. Pass out front, a quick shot off the post for Brody Herzog right on the doorstep. A little fake from Hazelwood, another trying to lean in on the defender. He used his size against Hibbler. Go up top for Schnabel instead. Tyson back to Vossen. And now Schnabel.
A good defense by the Tornadoes. I mean, they're really denying that inside to the Catbirds.
A good job disrupting the pass, and then the big takeaway for Cooper Bakke, and he sends it downfield. And that's going to get that one. I know that penalty. I'm familiar with.
Yes.
As Mossman got upended on the trip. Hibbler spinning away from contact again, trying to use his speed, his elusiveness to find some room. Pressured by Vossen. And good pressure from the Catbirds to force the turnover. Pass didn't click though, and Mossman scoops it up.
That pass a little behind him, but then he couldn't control it. You see
another timeout.
Yep.
5:21 to go.
Well, definitely not a lot of scoring in this contest. Enough scoring, obviously, by the Tornadoes to hold a four-goal lead. But just that's because the Catbirds just not able to get any offense generated. The bells are tolling, Joe Yen. They toll for you. I mean, with 5:21, is it possible? Sure, it is, but you have to deny the defense for the Tornadoes. You have to find a way to get inside, and they haven't been doing that at all tonight.
Well,
really.
And the reality of it is, in this sport, you can score 4 goals inside a minute.
Oh, absolutely.
If you can win faceoffs.
Yep.
And convert on offense.
Exactly.
However, as you pointed out there last time down, Anoka doing a great job of really denying the middle. They got a good look inside, and Herzog banked it off the iron. And how different is the feeling if that one is 3 inches to the left?
Yeah.
And we're now at 6-3. I think Coon Rapids Spring Lake Park still needs to show urgency. Either way, but maybe not quite as much. And now we're getting close to desperation time.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. With 5:21 remaining and a 4-goal deficit, you've got to get something accomplished relatively quickly. You've got to get some sort of momentum back on your side.
You've only scored 2 goals for 43 minutes. Yeah. You need 4 more in the next 5. Mossman shoots wide. There to recover it is Darian Berry. Gets it back up top for Iverson. Iverson being forced out near midfield, able to keep possession, and Brown really giving him the business. Danny Quist down low for Anoka. Quist with a little twist to find a little bit of room. And trying to feed Mossman. And they turn it over to the Catbirds. Smolich able to get upfield and get it to Nolan Hazelwood. Hazelwood troubled, pressured, looking for help, drawing a couple of defenders.
Their defenders are all over him, and they've done a really good job on the leading, last year's leading scorer for the Catbirds of just limiting him.
Quist leaves it for Vossen. Vossen takes a bump, spins back around, takes another hit. Quist back for Schnabel, and now Vossen up top. Nolan Hazelwood. 3:30 to play in the fourth quarter. Burke will look for a seam, cuts back, switches. Back to his right, a shot low, the stop by Thompson, swept at. Anoka able to get it back out. Schnabel can't stop it up. Tornadoes able to scoop, and Baki has a little bit of room before running into Jack Smolich.
Well, Smolich did a nice job of knocking that ball out a couple of times. Anoka able to maintain possession.
Iverson gets it back for Hendrickson. Hendrickson will take it down deep behind the net. Hibbler looking inside. Iverson turns and is stuffed by Scramstead, who quickly gives his team the signal to go fast downfield.
There he goes.
He will start the attack. Get across midfield, give it up to Hazelwood. Hazelwood leaning in on Barry. Spins back to his left. Down low, Burke shoots and scores.
Yeah, and again, cut the lead in half with 2:11 remaining, but Catbirds needed something. They needed something positive to happen. .210 remaining. 2:11.
Yeah, no problem. Face off, win.
Yeah. And then
go down, shoot, score.
Yep.
Face off, win. Go down, shoot, score.
Exactly, but your point is correct. You got to win that face-off. If you don't win the face-off, it makes it much more difficult.
Oh, that's a big call.
Yeah.
It's going to go against Hibbler, and that's going to give a big advantage to the Catbirds. Now they don't have to win the draw.
Nope, Catbirds will take it.
And they'll have an extra man on the field.
I'm not sure why you're taunting after your opponent scores a goal.
And a lot of times, as always, it's not about that you said something. It's about what you said.
Well, exactly.
And that you said it loud enough for the official to hear. Pass too tall for Schnabel down low, scooped up by Wazurek. Thompson will send it ahead for Cooper Baki. Baki staying out of the reach of Smolich, and the Tornadoes happy to just keep possession and play keep away, but then they get a good look and they bury it. Ethan Mossman.
His third?
Yes.
Yep. 3 of the 7 Tornado goals by Ethan Mossman.
And now with 85 seconds, that will pretty much seal it for the Tornadoes. Catbirds had an opportunity off that penalty with the free possession, a little more than 2 minutes remaining to maybe get one more and at least put some fear into the Tornadoes, and instead the Tornadoes able to come down and score, and then another face-off win for Fox, and just knocked his whole stick out of his hands.
Yep.
And then he gets called for the stick infraction. Flags flying behind the play. Hazelwood gets it in front. A quick turn and score for Quist with 52 seconds to go.
A goal
Quist,
is good.
a twist, and a score.
Yep.
Good look from Hazelwood.
And again, you find that player right next to the goal, and make sure you get it in the back of the net.
Well, and at least here in the fourth quarter, SLPCR has been able to score a couple more.
Yep.
They'll get out with at least four goals, which is more than the 3 they scored in the
Correct.
opener.
That is correct.
They have not given up the 9 they gave up in the opener either. So on both respects,
A little bit better.
moving in the right direction.
Correct.
In week number 1. And as with anything, it's a process. And as long as you continue to improve from game 1 to the last game of the season, you can consider your year a success.
Well, yeah, you do, and and again, like you said, it's early. It's just the second game of the year for the Catbirds, and second match of the year, I should say. And maybe they can come away with another one here before the final whistle.
Is it a match?
I thought it was a match.
It's a good question.
It is a good question.
Clearly, I am not a lacrosse aficionado, as it has been stated frequently throughout tonight's broadcast.
I thought you were, exactly, because you didn't need a rule book, you said.
I said I should get one so that I could understand what's happening, how this game is officiated. Who needs to know the rules?
Well, Coach O said that he has a Hibbler, a 9th grader this year. I asked him if he had one in the past, because there must have been a Hibbler that played a sport at Coon Rapids.
I know there was.
Yeah.
And it, as sad as it is, because it all runs together, it could be before his time, too.
John Young might know.
I'm pretty sure the Hibbler I'm thinking of was, I thought, a basketball player, maybe a track
Well, yeah,
guy.
unless it was more than 11 years ago, correct.
That's what I'm saying. Is I think it could be back before he, because we've been here a little bit longer
Long
than
time.
that. Just a desperation shot that was wide. Thompson wins the race and gets possession for his team, and very likely, as long as they can make 1 or 2 passes. Oh, and they forced him out of bounds. That was a good defensive play to just force him out of bounds. That was Hazelwood along the end line. Oh. Pass just bounced away from Burke. He was in a great spot. And the Tornadoes will quickly get it downfield. Big hit from Brown. Knocking Barry off the ball. Nolan Hazelwood with time ticking down to the final 10. Looking for the
where that went.
back door. And Catbirds tried to argue that was a shot, not a pass. The ref was
a
not,
shot.
The ref was not buying it. And the time will run out, and the Tornadoes will improve to 2-1. The Catbirds fall to 0-2 on this early young season.
Yeah, and again, some things for the Catbirds to figure out. But as you mentioned, 4 goals versus 3 in the loss to Andover. So you work on that, and obviously early in the season you take the positives that you can come into this game out of out of the play, and you go from there.
Here's a first for us, Howie. A boys volleyball contest. It's not quite a varsity sport yet. Last year of its club level. It will be a varsity sport as of next year for Minnesota State High School.
Should be fun.
But we'll get a look at the Cardinal volleyballers tomorrow as they take on Maple Grove. Get our first look at the softball team next week when the Cardinals host the Anoka Tornadoes. And we'll see the boys tennis team next Thursday as they take on Osseo. But that will do it for this edition of CTN Sports. Again, the final score, Anoka 4. We want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young, saying good night.